Okay. They will be able to hear you, Kevin, so you need to mute your mic. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We are so excited that you're here with us here on Co-working Live with Red Worldwide. And today we're going to delve into an area that is part of our Smarter Start Bootcamp because it's Smarter Start Bootcamp Day. And so, with that said, I'm so excited to talk with you a little bit about just learning how to do a one-page business plan. It's so important for us to have tools, and tools are really, really important. I can tell you that for most of us, we, depend on our tools in business. Having the ability to, use tools where we can is going there. That's going to give us just more leverage in business so that we can do business better. And we're all about doing business better. So, with that said, we want to jump into our slides today and we're going to be talking about the lean canvas. And some of you guys are familiar with the fact that we are really big on using the lean startup method. And so we've talked about the lean startup and lean canvas in the past, but today we're actually going to teach you how to use Lean Canvas. And so, with that said, Javon, could you bring up our slides, please? So, today we're going to be looking more at how do we develop a one-page lean or one-page business plan with Lean Canvas. Now, some of you guys are familiar with the one-page business plan from utilizing the business model canvas, which is very, very similar to the Lean Canvas. Some of you guys who were on a hands-on session with us earlier this year in January, we talked about using a Smart Start canvas, which is also a variation of the business model canvas. And so these are all ways that you can have just a little short roadmap that actually gives you the ideal parts of a business plan all in one succinct, you know, little piece so that you are able to see how the business planning process could work for your company. And so, with that said, let's go to slide number one. We're going to just kind of look at our agenda for today. So I'm going to introduce you to the Lean Canvas, which is a type of business model canvas or one-page business plan. We're going to identify the key segments on that canvas, and then we're going to look at how do we develop out channels and customer relationships, what are the key activities and resources, our cost structure and revenue streams, and how do we complete a Lean Canvas. So we'll talk about the fact that, there are some different orders that you might want to complete the lean canvas that might be a little bit different than what you see on the canvas directly, and so you might not want to do it in order depending on what stage of business you're in. So Javon, could you bring up the PDF, the lean canvas PDF for us, so we can just kind of take a look at what a lean canvas looks like? Okay, wonderful. All right, so here we have a lean canvas and we see that it's separated into different sections, and we have our problem, which includes the problem itself, and you'll list your top 1 to 5 problems that your customer or client might be experiencing right now. And then you'll see some existing alternatives that are in that same little section there when it talks about the problem. You want to talk about what they're using right now, what people might be, how they might be solving that problem without your company. And so you want to take a look at that, and then you have the solution, right? What, in other words, what you could possibly provide, or what someone could provide for this client or customer that's having the problem. And then you have some key metrics, listing out the key numbers, that tell you how your business is doing. Okay. What are those key metrics? Okay. That you can say, this is how we know that we're doing well, or this is why we're doing, whatever we're doing at this point, or how we're doing it. Okay. In terms of the statistical data, the business intelligence, and we've talked about business intelligence before. Then you'll look at what is your unique way of solving this problem. What is your clear, compelling message that states why you're different and why people, will pay attention to your company and they will use your company. And then for a high level concept, you're going to list your X for Y analogy. You are the this for that. Okay. So YouTube is the Flickr for videos. Okay. So you want to talk about um, what you are to your market that gives an analogy that others might understand. Then we'll talk about your unfair advantage, something that only you are providing, or very rarely is provided by any customer, or any of the customer's choices before you, or whatever else is out there, your competitor. What is your unique thing that is an unfair advantage? Okay, gives you kind of an edge in the market. And then you'll look at the channels. How are you going to get that particular product to your customer? And the segments. Who are your product, or your products going to? The avatar, or we talked about this on Friday, the personas. Okay. And then who are the early adopters? Who's going to use you first? Who's going to be the one that says, hey, I want that right now. I know you'll be at the market on Friday, but I need it today, and it's Wednesday. Okay. Who are those people? All right. Thank you so much, Javon. Let's go back to our slides, please. All right. Next slide. All right. So when we are looking at this lean canvas, we really want to understand what it is. So let's kind of take a step back and just kind of the high level view. The lean canvas model is just a one-page business plan that offers a concise, actionable framework. It gives you actionable steps, and the way that you can see what it is that your customers have a need for, and how you can provide for that need. It's more or less like a little roadmap. And it just kind of gives you something that you can post up on the wall, or put it up on your computer and say, okay, this is, what we're doing, this is how we're doing it, and this is why we're doing it. Okay. So it helps you define your business idea, and it helps you focus on key aspects of the business and align your strategy for success. So it really is a way of giving you these actionable steps, and these ways of seeing things, from your customer's perspective, from the very onset. We talked about that on Friday. We did some empathy mapping, and mapping out the key concepts of things that we need to build into our business. And so when we're looking at this lean canvas, we need to understand these 9 building blocks that are there. Those sections that I just talked about, they cover key aspects of a business, including customer segments, value propositions, channels, customer relationships, revenue streams, key activities, key resources, cost structure, and metrics. And so we just looked at it, and it's all there, but it provides an approach to your business planning that is going to give you a very succinct way of jumping in there and doing what needs to be done from a customer centric perspective. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. So, how do we identify some key segments? Well, our customer segments, are really special um, groups that you can, these little pots that you can put your clients in or your customers in, so that you can see all of the ones that you're going to serve. So, some of us, are doing a particular type of business where we might have two or three customer segments, where others of us might only have one specific customer segment. But within that customer segment, there are ways that you can identify people within the customer segment that kind of, gives you the ability to tailor your products or services to meet some specific needs or preferences, and that's going to drive your customer satisfaction and loyalty. So, Javon, if you could take us back to our canvas just for a second. Okay, so looking over here, that our customer segments are all the way on the right. And remember, I talked about how you might not want to complete the link canvas in the order that it appears on the actual canvas, but you might want to start somewhere specific, that will give you the ability to understand how to do the other areas. So, although might with put in the problem that you're going to solve and the existing alternatives, I would immediately look at who you're going to serve. Okay. Because once you know what the problem that they're having is, okay, and the existing alternatives that are out there, then it's going to help you to get a better, view of what the solution is. So, looking at the customer segments, giving you an example by using our company, we serve business owners and or we serve people who have an idea, who want to become business owners, or we have people that we serve that have an idea, who want to get that idea into some sort of a product form so they could take it to market. Okay, so we have these three. Or we also serve people who are in business. So we actually have four target customers, four segments. The existing entrepreneur, okay, the entrepreneur who wants to start a business, okay, and they have an idea. We also work with product creators who have something that they want to get to market. And, then of course, we are, really kind of keen on, helping all of them with similar areas, but these are the segments. And the fourth segment, really, I would say from a very high level, we are really working, with the entrepreneur who is early in business, but they are, at a place of where they haven't quite hit the growth stage yet. So we're working in these different areas, and working with people in seed stage and pre-seed stage or pre-launch, okay, and all of these things. And so they all have some unique problems, but for the most part, all of them, the biggest problem is that they want to make sure they're in business long enough to actually um, get to their freedom point. They want to be able to have their business give back to them what it is that they want to put into it or what they have put into it. So they're trying to extract value from their companies. Okay. So, and the problem is that many of them don't have the knowledge of how to do it. That's the real problem that we're solving. We're bringing a level of business prowess to them in a customized way. So I've heard someone call us the customized business school. We have what we call B School, and we actually do craft a B School product that is for each one of those segments. Okay, please go back to our slides. Hello. There we go. All right. Wonderful. All right. So, customer relationships. When we're looking at the channels and the customer relationships, we've got to be thinking about how we, interact with the different. Uh, oh, Giovanni, go back a slide, please. I think we've gone too far. Go back a slide, please. There we go. I'm sorry. The unique value propositions. Thank you for that. Um, when we're looking at our customer segments, we got to understand how do we really meet the need of that customer segment. And so if we can really look at what we have to offer and we know what their problem is, then what is it that we are poised to do that's different than everything else that's out there on the market? What is our unique benefit, our unique value that we have to the clients or customers? And how can we differentiate ourselves from our competitors and others who, you know, um, they may not be direct competitors, but they're providing a similar service that could, be a stopgap in the wake of them not having a full solution. So let's take a look at, our next slide. Okay. And so as we are looking at this, we want to be able to figure out, okay, now that we kind of know what our unique value proposition is, what it is that we have to offer, our competitive edge we're going to talk about in a few minutes, but right now we're really looking at that unique value proposition, and we're looking at how do we get whatever it is that we're going to, our solution that we're going to bring, how do we get it to the client? What channels do we use to get that to the client? Now, for the a lot of you who are watching this and you are wanting to complete your canvas, I admonish you to reach out to us. We're putting the Lean Canvas today. It's going to be in the community. Our customer success manager can work with some of you guys that may need to or would like to, have a session. And if you feel like you want to have a session that's specific to, a small group where we actually work with you and go through the Lean Canvas, we'd love to do that. And so, put it in the chat or in the comments section if you're on YouTube. If you are any of the other channels, let us know that you're interested in participating in that particular session so that we can get that information to our customer success manager, Kevin Janeway, and he can make sure that you're able to participate. But we're going to probably use this on one of our Friday sessions so that we can have everybody go through it and do your Lean Canvas together so you can ask questions and we can help you get all of the right information in the right places. But today we're just talking about how it works and how it functions and what it is that is on the canvas. So when we're looking at the channels, make sure that you are able to choose the right channel for what it is that you're doing for your solution. Let me give you an example of what that looks like in our business. So, we had initially thoughts of how we would deploy our services. We thought we were going to be more of a one-on-one, or for that matter, customers coming into our office, clients coming into our office, creating a time where they sit down with us and we're helping them to solve for X, okay? And we really thought that was going to be, our model of how we would get the service to our clients. And, sure, clients who were a little bit further away, we were going to utilize, we had Teams at the time, we were going to use Microsoft Teams or Cisco's WebEx to deploy in the, internet. And this is when Zoom was really, really young. We weren't yet using Zoom because we were concerned about its security issues that it was having at the time. But, this was what I thought was. And I'll tell you what happened is the pandemic. Okay. right when we were in the process of really deploying at a higher level. We started in 2017 and we were working with businesses one on one. We had a great opportunity where, our, at the time I was working a regular job as well as running my company. And the person who was my boss at the time, she allowed us to use the conference room at their office, and which made it so that I could serve clients one on one. However, our clients started growing really quickly. And so we went from like 20 clients to, I don't even know how we got to 100 clients, but it was just like, oh my God, how do we do this? Okay, this is going to be a little bit more of a challenge to be able to get to everyone. And so Teams became a real, well, actually, Cisco WebEx was our first platform that we used. It was and Start Meeting. We used that ad infinitum. I mean, because we had to get to clients and they needed their need, what they needed. Okay. And we needed to be able to help them get their businesses started. And so Start Meeting, free conference calls product, we were able to get an initial scholarship or a donation from them. So we used the platform for almost free for a really long time. In that first year we used it, and then from there we went to utilizing another software we're right into Cisco's WebEx actually, because we thought we were going to use GoToMeeting. It didn't work out. And so we went, and then we were going to use the big blue button, and the button blew up. And so because of that, we had to move quickly. And so we didn't lose anyone. And we did. And then the pandemic happened and we were 100% online because of the shutdown. And at that point, we had to really solve all of our major issues with how we would deploy to our clients very quickly. Now, I am sharing our customers' journey with you because they had I'm sharing it from our side, but if you can imagine from their side, there was just like, what in the world? How come you have so many different ways or so many different, online, rooms that we have to use to get to you? And so we had to make a very fast and quick decision, in March of 2020. We didn't have any more room to, play around with, seeing what is the best process. We had to find one and stick to it, and we did. And we were able to find a place. And Teams did a lot of work on making it easy for us to use it and fixing it so it could be used in the browser. And we utilized Teams. We were dedicated to that platform for about a year. Now, how will you get your customers your services? Maybe you have retail products, and maybe those retail products are being sold through Shopify or through Ecwid or through some other platform, Amazon. Okay, maybe you are a person who is creating a product that is sold in a retail store, CVS or Rite Aid or Walmart or Walgreens, so whatever it is that is your platform or your channel, maybe you have multi-channel distribution. And so if you're doing that, you want to make it easy for your customers to get what it is that you're selling, and you want to make it a pleasant experience, because you do not want them to be in a situation where they want what you have and they're not able to get it as easily, or it's not a straightforward solution. Okay, maybe you're deploying in the metaverse, and maybe you have your product or service available in Horizon, or maybe it's available in Engage or in Spatial. You've got to make sure whatever it is, it's at the highest level and it's done with excellence so that the customer experience is a good one. On Friday, we talked about our customer journey and the customer success is really how important it is. And you have to see it from their side. That's why we talked about doing an empathy map. And so having that empathy map helps the clients to, get the service that they are supposed to have, because you now have sat there and gone through the process and you know what they're experiencing. And so you can deploy in a way that gives them the best possible experience um, with your product. Okay, can we go back to our slides, please? Okay. All right. Wonderful. So on your uh, Canvas, um, we have there some very specific things with regards to the unique value proposition, your competitive edge, what it is that you're doing. So you've got to be able to understand what your key activities and resources are so you can put those things in the right places and in the right way. So, what are going to be the essential activities or the core operations and processes that you're going to undertake to deliver value to your customers, and the unique value, the value that only you are providing, or that you're providing the way you're providing, I should say, so that people will choose you over the existing options that are out there. And what are the resources that you need to have access to, or that you need to make available? Okay, these intangibles, in these intangible assets that you utilize to carry out those operations. Because when you're delivering this unique value, you want to make sure you have enough of those resources available to you so that there's this continuity, there's no interruption in the provision of services. And having that in your forefront of your mind before you actually start pushing out the or putting the information on the canvas is going to be important. If you understand what you're doing and how you're doing it, then for sure the client will, you know, because you will provide it to them in a way that they understand it, they can embrace it, they enjoy it, and they will consciously choose you every single time. Okay, next slide, please. And you need to really be thinking about, what does this thing cost me? And on our canvas, Javon, can you go back to the canvas real quick? Because I want them to see where this information is going to go. So at the bottom, you see this cost structure and revenue streams. Okay, that area right there is so important, because you got to figure out what your fixed and variable costs are, and then what the revenue streams are, so that you can actually, understand how will you make money. Is this going to be getting a new customer every day, or is this going to be an automatic customer scenario where you have some sort of subscription service, or monthly offering, or higher tier contract where they are paying for the service over 12 months? Those are so important. And so having those sections completed in the right way is going to be important. Now let's go back to the slides, please. So you got to be able to understand the cost structure. You need to understand that it's going to have all of your expenses incurred in operating your business, including your fixed costs and variable costs. So what's a fixed cost? Fixed cost, of course, is fixed. It does not change. It's the same every month, like rent. Okay, rent doesn't change. It's going to always be the same, unless you're on some type of a situation where it's graduated and it changes, every so many months until you get to the fixed cost. But for the most part, your rent is going to be a separate fixed cost. Every month it's the same, unless your utilities are in there or something, that might change, which utilities are a variable cost, right? They change over time, because maybe you use a lot of energy this month and maybe next month you don't, so that's information that's going to be there. And investments need to be on that, area, or in the area where it talks about, the cost structure. Then you got to map out your revenue streams, and like I said, are you selling a product that you have to go find a new customer for every day, or do you have streams of income that help you to optimize, okay, your business, because their revenue is a recurring cost. It's a predictable profit. What it is that will be coming in, because of the fact that you have designed a process of making sure you have, recurring funds all the time. Next slide, please. So when you complete the lean canvas, you want to make sure that you finalize it, by reviewing it and refining each of the sections. Sometimes after you get it all done, you're looking at it and saying, you know what, I think that this might be something a little different than what I thought. Or you find out that the problem you thought you were solving is really not the problem that you're solving. Yes, you might be solving that problem as well, but it's not the bigger picture or the grander scheme, if I can call it that way. You have to look at the whole canvas and sometimes back up and say, okay, what am I really doing? You need a holistic view of your business model, and having that holistic view will give you the ability to consider all the elements and how they interconnect and how they will work well together. Because when you examine the relationships between the items on the canvas, it gives you the relevant key components, and it shows you how you have opportunities for growth and success. Next slide, please. Okay. So as we're looking through our process, I need you to go back to the lean canvas slide. I'm sorry. When I said next slide, I meant going back to our lean canvas. Thank you so much. So as we're looking at our process of completing the canvas, and seeing how things are interconnected, I want you to make sure that you are reviewing this every few months and making changes. I know you look at my Smart Start canvas, because of the fact that we used it in school. I look at it quite often now because of the fact that I got used to every few months seeing, okay, what part of this do I need to change? Is there anything that, could be different, that could help us, move another product forward? Or, do we need to pivot in an area, or do we persevere? Okay. And so we talk about a lot of those things because it's important for you to consciously look at this and go back to it. And I used my lean canvas to create my final business plan that we use as a roadmap, what we call our living business plan. And so in another session, we will talk more about how do we connect the lean canvas process to the living business plan process to help us and with our roadmap that we're going to use as we are running our businesses. Well, this has been Patience Rose with Co-working Live with Red Worldwide, and we're so excited that you have been with us today, and we look forward to seeing you again next time.